Did you hear that? Koala. This is one of the best wildlife experiences I've ever had. You're thirsty. I'm Jack Randall. Oh, bum! See that? That was crazy cool. I'm finding every animal on the planet. Whoa. I'm in the wild. I think it's down here. Whoa, please! Up close and personal. Oh, a massive snake! Okay, there's a scorpion on my arm. This is just remarkable. Look at that. Reticulated bifin in the water. Come on, let's go. The combination of record heat levels and extreme drought ignited the largest Australian bushfires on record, scorching the homes for billions of animals. This special episode is about the beloved koala, filmed during one of the heat waves in an area luckily not yet burned by the fires. I'm here in South Australia. Right behind me you can see this beautiful, lovely eucalyptus forest. It's prime habitat for koalas. This area has been untouched by the fires, so it's one of the last refuges for the koalas living in this state. But today is one of the hottest days on record. It's going to be up to 43 degrees Celsius. The problem is that the koalas that live in this habitat, there's a risk that they could die of overheating and just dehydration. I've actually got some water with me, and I'm going to offer that water to a koala that might be really, really thirsty. It's going to be a crazy hot day. Let's get on with it and find some koalas. This is one of the very few areas of South Australian prime eucalypt forest that hasn't ignited yet. The koalas living here are the lucky ones, but this heat wave could be just as deadly as the fires themselves. Let's go look out for the koalas here and check on any that might be overheating. Right, that's a sign of a koala in this region. So that is a koala poo. The koalas, they only eat the leaves in these eucalyptus trees. Interestingly, that poo is quite important to the survival of the koala. There's very little moisture in that. They have this mechanism where they actually just absorb as much moisture from their food as possible, so that when they excrete, when they pee and they poo, there's very little moisture left in there, and that's just the remnants with very little nutrients left. But it's this kind of oblong shape. No other poo around here looks like that. Did you hear that? Koala. Got this bellow sound, they got a real guttural sound. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's a koala somewhere around here. Okay, I'm gonna have to look in the top of the tree branches for a kind of big lump, but he's around here. Definitely that was a koala sound. There, yes, see him? Koala up on the tree. Hello, were you making that sound? Are you going to do that sound again? Trying to imitate the koala bellows. They're quite territorial, so the males don't want another male around, but it's a good sign. That's the first one. I imagine there's a lot more around here, but there's around 1 koala per 100 trees, so I'm going to have to look at around 100 trees in order to find a single koala. Let's keep going. That koala was high up in the tree, which means it's nice and healthy, but it's still early in the day. I'm going to keep looking to see if I can find any koalas that are showing signs of overheating and dehydration. I've actually heard that the koalas, they like sitting by the side of a road, believe it or not. I think it's a bit cooler down there, so I'm going to go up the top of this valley, and there's a road up there, some houses, settlements, and we'll just move along there looking for any koalas that might be there. Another telltale sign of a koala that's dehydrated is one that's close down to the bottom of the tree, where it's the coolest. Oh, look there, there's another koala up there. Up high in the tree, so not showing signs of being thirsty. koala in the tree. Really, really close down to the ground. This is really, really hot. It must be extremely, extremely hot. Things have to be really, really quiet. I don't want to disturb the koala too much because I don't want to make sure that he doesn't use as much unnecessary energy, and see if he actually wants to take some water. Look at that, we're literally only 3 meters away from a koala. Interesting thing, how did the koala get his name koala? Well, in Aboriginal language, in old Aboriginal language, koala actually means no drink. Koalas don't normally need to drink any water at all. They get all their water from the leaves. But the problem is, it's so hot, it's so dry, that the moisture content in the leaves is so low, so they're not getting as much water as they would usually when they're eating the leaves. And so that is why you're seeing koalas coming down from their trees and taking water from people. So, because it's so hot, we may have to do that today. This is a chance that the koalas are so thirsty that they would take water which they wouldn't normally do in the wild, especially come close to people. Chill here for a little bit and just let this koala just get relaxed in my presence. I must say, this is one of the best wildlife experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I think he's quite relaxed. Now this is quite unusual, I would say. I mean, I've never experienced this before, but the fact that the koala is just not going up makes me think that he's extremely, extremely hot. And so, what I actually will do is try and get some water and see if he wants to take it. I mean, that would be a pleasure to be able to give the koala a little bit of water at a time that it's so hot. I'll just get a quick shot of the koala from up here, and then we'll see if he wants to take some water from me. Right, he just moved his head that way, but I'm going to see if I can get a nice GoPro shot from this to see what it's like to be right next to a koala up in a tree. Wow. So what I'm going to do is actually, I've got a bowl with me and some water, and I'm just going to carefully see if he wants to take some water from me. Now I always have to be careful that they don't, because they don't drink, they're not used to taking lots of water down in one go. So I have to offer the water in a bowl below him so that he can just sip it, lick it up. You can't actually feed too much water down. It can actually flood their lungs. It's actually quite dangerous for them. And I'm just going to see what happens. Some water. You must be really thirsty. See, he's taking the water in slowly. It just shows they take a tiny amount of water, but that really is, I cannot describe. We've got a very dehydrated koala here to take that water from my hands, a wild koala, and you could see he was just taking it slowly. But that might be enough just to get him through this real hard dry season. I didn't actually expect necessarily that would work, but it just shows this is unusual. You don't normally get close to a koala extremely low in the tree. Very, very dehydrated koala. Unbelievable. But you know what? I feel like he's just gone back to sleep. He's just gone, thanks, Jack. Thanks for water. I'm gonna have a little sleep here now. Oh, thanks, mate. I just can't believe that. Yes, so good. Can't believe that. Koalas have evolved to have very little water in the wild, but because of climate change, because of the heat, the crazy droughts that Australia is having right now, koalas are really having a tough time, as well as the rest of the native mammals. But the thing is, koalas, they have an even worse time because of the fires. They can't get out. You can see how slow they are. So if a fire comes across, they really have no chance of surviving. And so this is just one extra problem that they've got. But that's just an amazing experience. Definitely something I didn't quite imagine would ever happen in my life. I never even thought you could even get close to a koala like this. I mean, it's just incredible. It'll stay with me the rest of my life. I can assure you that. What an amazing koala. I love you. I love you, mate. It's nice to meet you, mate. Good luck. The summer's record heat levels did continue for quite some weeks. But fortunately, that forest he lives in remained untouched from the fires, giving him all the hope he will have needed. I've come to the Adelaide Koala and Wildlife Hospital. I'd love to see how those burns are healing. So not only are we going to be saving one life, it's going to be 2 lives.